In 2008, while serving in the Indian Army Special Forces, I was part of an operation named Garud. Our mission was to counter a group of terrorists hiding in the dense Sundarbans situated on the border between Bangladesh and India, planning a massive attack. Our team consisted of 3 units, each with 4 highly trained commandos. Prior to the operation, we underwent intensive training for a week to prepare for both the brutality of the terrorists and the dangers of the Sundarbans, home to a large population of Bengal tigers and deadly creatures. At 9 p.m., we were dropped at the Indian border by helicopters, which then departed, leaving us alone. Dividing into our 3 units, we ventured into the dense forest. Amidst the darkness, leading my unit, I chose the north side of the forest. We proceeded cautiously, with strict orders not to make any noise without my permission. Our primary goal was to locate the terrorist position and their hiding spots or tents. As the night progressed, we delved deeper into the wilderness. After half an hour, my unit hadn't found anything. It was odd. Deep in the woods, there was an eerie silence. We expected to hear crickets and various creatures, but there was nothing. It felt unsettling. I reached out to the other unit via satellite radio. They reported encountering multiple large Bengal tigers, managing to avoid danger. Their surprise matched my unease when I updated them on our situation. Moving on, the woods grew denser, and the moon's golden light cast a perfect glow. We spotted a river, and upon focusing, we saw tents on the other side, likely the terrorists' hideout. Taking cover behind trees, we readied ourselves to attack. Through my scope, I spotted 3 armed men guarding the tents. The river's flow seemed a bit high, leading us to contemplate crossing. One of my soldiers warned against it, fearing the strong current might drown us or expose us to the enemy's sight, leading to a fatal outcome. After a moment's pause, I decided to attack from our current position, as they were unaware of our presence, making them easier targets. Counting down, I initiated the attack. 3, 2, 1, fire! After 30 seconds of firing, we took down 2 terrorists on the other side, but more emerged armed with heavy machine guns firing erratically. One of our soldiers got hit by a bullet and we attended to his injury. The opposition had solid cover, making it hard for us to aim. Continuous gunfire filled our ears until a sudden howl echoed from somewhere across the river. Everyone stopped and silence engulfed the surroundings. Then gunfire resumed on the other side, but strangely not directed at us. Something massive seemed to be causing chaos there. We heard growls and screams, leaving us bewildered and clueless about what was happening. Suddenly, everything fell silent, utter stillness, not a single sound from their end. After a tense wait of 5 minutes, we cautiously crossed the river, supporting each other. What awaited us chilled us to the bone, blood everywhere, tents ripped apart, bodies mutilated with missing heads, limbs and eyes bearing massive bite and claw marks. Horror gripped us. We couldn't fathom what had transpired. It felt like a scene from a horror movie. One disturbing sight that shook my team was a rifle bent as if it were made of rubber. How could any creature bend iron like that? While inspecting rustling behind a tent put us on high alert, ready to fire, I approached cautiously and found an injured terrorist, his chest horribly open, on the verge of death, pleading for a swift end to his pain. Shaking with fear, I asked him what had happened. His eyes widened with intense fear as he struggled to speak, pressing his hand against his chest. It was not human, a monster. With those chilling words, he breathed his last in my arms, leaving us haunted and bewildered by the terrifying revelation.
Does anyone have any clues about what happened here?
What about the howl we heard before all this? Maybe a big wolf? No, wolf couldn't bend the rifle. Something else did this. It might still be out there possibly watching us right now. A werewolf? The words escaped him, fear etched on his face. We all turned toward him, his complexion drained. He mentioned past missions involving werewolf attacks, a reality known to few, most of whom fell prey to the predator. We tried to reassure the soldier. We need to inform the other units before they encounter trouble. Attempting to reach them yielded no response. Our priority shifted to locating the other unit, warning them of the danger. The terrorists were momentarily forgotten as we set out to find them. I instructed everyone to follow the river path while maintaining distance within the woods. After traversing the riverbank for half an hour, we suddenly heard a lone woman's weeping in the distance. A potential hostage. Carefully tracking the sound, it led us deeper into the woods, revealing something we were not prepared to witness. A girl was seated beneath a towering tree, seemingly naked, her upper body veiled by long, dark brown hair. She sobbed incessantly. I stepped closer, a sense of unease creeping in, yet I managed to speak to her. "Hey, what are you doing there naked? Are you lost? Say something." We all awaited a response. After a few seconds, she lifted her face, blood covering it, her eyes glowing yellow. Before we could comprehend what she was, her form began to change. Bones twisted, sounds emanated from her body, and to our horror, she transformed into a giant wolf. "What are you waiting for? Fire!" We unleashed our magazines in a single bound. She didn't flinch, smiling amidst her sharp teeth and glowing eyes. Then she seized one of my soldiers and tore his body in two, an utterly horrifying moment. Realizing our guns were futile against this beast, we fled, running helter-skelter into the forest. Unsure of who was next, I prayed she wouldn't follow me. I sprinted for 5 minutes, my heart pounding fiercely. Eventually, I halted, taking cover beneath a tree. I still heard her horrifying growls and the screams of my comrades. Anger surged within me. I couldn't save them. More than anger, I felt rage towards our senior officers. They should have warned us about this.
Yeah.
It was their fault. I had no idea how many soldiers I'd lost or would lose because of their negligence. Taking a deep breath, an idea struck me. I stripped off my clothes, covering my body in wet mud. I knew she couldn't smell me if I was coated in mud. After an hour of cautious movement, I heard the sound of a helicopter, possibly a rescue team from our unit managing to call for help before the chaos unfolded. It flew overhead, but they couldn't spot me in the dense foliage despite my frantic shouts. With no other option, I risked firing my rifle into the sky. The helicopter returned, hovering above me. 2 rescue officers disembarked, confirming my identity as a soldier. They seemed bewildered, unable to comprehend my urgency. As I recounted the giant werewolf, they remained skeptical until a howl echoed near. We began ascending the rope, but the wolf emerged, grabbing one of the rescue officers on the ground. I hung in the middle, the pilot shining the helicopter light toward the creature. It vanished, taking the officer. I was hoisted up, a near-death experience. We searched briefly, finding nothing. Radios remained silent, all channels dead. We returned to base. The following day, rescue officers discovered mutilated bodies scattered everywhere, many missing, blood stained in the scene. No one else survived except me. The memory haunted me for the rest of my days.